guys, what's up? It's Jess, and you're listening to Serenade Radio. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Today on the show we have
Queen Royal.
And as usual we have me, Ephraim. So let's get right into it.
Yes, we miss you guys so much. Thank you for your patience, by the way. I feel like we've been gone for like 1,000 years, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. We obviously miss you guys a lot. We just had to handle some business, you know what I'm saying? We were doing events and meeting new people and just enjoying life, you know. I think breaks are necessary.
They are.
Yes, 100%. 100% necessary.
Right.
Do you think as an artist, how long do you think artists should take breaks in between like music, making music and everything?
I would say it honestly depends on the project or whatever that you're doing, you know. As an artist, you can be rushed. You know, you feel like you need to throw out content, but sometimes you really have to just slow down.
Yeah.
You know, because you just don't want to just throw out just any content. You want to give your fans and people good music or good content. You know. So.
Do you ever feel uninspired when making music? Does that happen to you?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I would say uninspired. I would say sometimes you get like a lack of motivation, you know, or discouraged sometimes, and then you get like you sink into this little I wouldn't say hole, but you can call it a reality. You know, you have things going on, like some people have school, you have bills, you know, you got a lot going on. So when that comes into play, and sometimes music is expensive. It's not something cheap, or even just podcasting. Everything is you don't know that there's financial things that come into that too. So you just have to be mindful of that, and then but you gotta look past it though, because really what really matters is you pursuing your dreams and going after it no matter what.
For sure. So do you ever find yourself, when I say uninspired, I mean like you're trying to record a song and you have no idea what to say next, or like the words are not coming, like you get stuck. Does that happen to you?
Yes, absolutely, all the time. All the time. Sometimes I have to do something, I'll write down maybe a song and I have to come to it the next day and the next day and keep like adding to it. And it's crazy because some days you're like more inspired than other days.
Yeah.
You might be looking good, you might get an outfit. Sometimes it's crazy because people don't realize that too, that how you look comes into play to how you feel.
Yep.
And that comes into play into what you're doing. So sometimes I just wake up and I'm gonna have to just dress up just to make myself okay.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna
in
do.
In the moment,
yeah. And get yourself in the moment and refocus your mind. So yeah, it happens a lot. You get stuck a lot.
So do you believe that every artist has to write their own music? Like, what are your thoughts on, for example, Young Miami having Lil Yachty write her lyrics for her? Do you think that invalidates you as a rapper, especially because you are a rapper,
right?
A female rapper.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on ghostwriters and things?
I honestly think that if that's your lane, that's your thing. I never want to put down somebody else's project and how they work and everything else. But for me, I don't think I would have anybody write my music for me to. I just feel like as a true artist, when you write music, it's a lot into that, because it comes into that, Like you said, when you get stuck in those roadblocks, I think that's what makes it music. That's where, your creativity comes into play. That's where all those things make you you. But having somebody else come in and help you out, I don't think that's really a big deal. It just would be for me.
Yeah. So tell me about your music style. How do you get in your zone and how do you write? What do you describe as your like genre or the type of artist you are? How would you describe yourself?
It's funny because I don't really describe it. I feel like I could do everything. I'd never try to just section myself off to one thing. Because I feel like as artists, we say, okay, I rap. Well, let me just limit myself to rap. I feel like it should be, I'm an artist, so whatever you give me, whatever, you throw at me, you say, do this dance move right now. As an artist, I'm going to make it happen. I might not be able to do it at the moment, but I'm going to go behind doors. I'm going to figure it out. So that's why I always say artists, even with drawing, there's so many things that come into artistry. Music can fit into so many things. I feel like that's like the universal laws in language to everyone is music. So, yeah.
How long have you been rapping?
I've been rapping about 1.5 years now.
What? I would never guess. I would guess like you've been rapping since you were 5 years old.
I mean, I think I always had a love for music since a little girl. I just never knew I would be rapping. It came out just, it was really weird how it happened.
Do you want to tell the story?
I would tell the story.
I love stories.
Okay. So, like I said, this little girl, like, I don't know if you remember, what was that show when Fantasia came on? What's the little show?
American Idol.
American
Thank
Idol.
you. American Idol.
Yeah.
As a kid, that's what you should know. But I used to watch that as a kid. Me and my mom loved that show. I remember Fantasia coming on there, and it's weird because I rap, but she was one of the people that inspired me to want to do music. It's crazy because when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a singer, but I can't sing, so.
But you have a nice talking voice.
Thank you. I make hit some notes, but you know. So back then, I felt like I wanted to be a singer, and then I was brought up around music. Like my uncle did music, my brother did music, and so after a while, my dad used to always say, you know, you should be a DJ. Because I would know like all the songs from every genre. I love pop music. I love, and my dad would be like, how do you know this song? Like old school songs. And I was that person that I would watch videos and I'd be like, or listen to a tune. I'd be like, Mom, do you know this song? Like, you know, H-Town and stuff like that. She'd be like, what? Why do you want to know this stuff? And so as I got older, you know, my brother, like I said, he was already doing music. My mom built a studio in the back of the house. And my dad would say, you need to go back there and go do it. But back then I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. So then I got picked up dance. So I did ballet, modern jazz, and African, and I knew that my heart was with music. So it didn't happen until college where I realized that, hey, this rapping thing might not be a bad idea because it's actually by mistake. I was 20 years old at my brother's house, and they gave me a little wine cooler they weren't supposed to, so kids don't drink. Yeah. So they gave me that, and then we all went in the studio, and I was just in there joking around, and I made the song Bet That. And so that was my first single.
Can you recite a little bit?
Oh God. I'm the queen, you know what I'm about. Talk me out. Talk me out. I don't even know that. Oh God.
You forgot the lyrics?
Yes.
It's cool.
Oh, wake up, pray up. I'm a young queen. I gotta get my money up. I remember I wrote that, and I was just writing in there and just having a good time. And then the next day we played it again, and my other brothers was like, "Wow, this is really dope." And even then, I still didn't realize, like, okay, you know, I didn't really think nothing of it. And one day, I don't know what, like, I guess God was just, you know, you just guide your path. You know, you really don't know. It just happens. And he just, I wound up just doing a video for it. My brother's like, you need to do a video for it. I'll come down there and do it with you. So I wound up doing my first video to that song. And it wasn't until my boyfriend told me to do a little freestyle. Like, just do the little, you know, do a little freestyle in the video. So Kodak came out with the transporting video, or his little song or whatever.
That's his guy right there.
Yeah, you know Kodak? I like it too. So I did it, I wrote to it, and then I dropped that, and the feedback I got on it was crazy. So
And
I just
then
kept
it
doing
took off from there.
Yeah, I just kept doing it, and just it's just crazy. Like in 1 year, I did so much, and I was like, wow, maybe this is for me. Just so many opportunities came from music. Like it was just really crazy to me, and it was just fast.
So Queen, what inspires you to write music?
I would say it might sound funny, but music inspires me to write music. Hearing other artists, like sometimes I love to do research on other artists. Like just recently, I don't know if you heard about the DMX challenge that came out, but it really made me go look behind. Like I was like, let me go look at DMX, and so I look at their biography. I like to look up like what they talk about, how they came about, what were their first videos, you know, like how they progressed as an artist. So that's something that inspires me. Yeah.
So if you can pick 3 artists, dead or alive, who most embody you, who will those 3 people be?
Well, Chris Brown, of course.
Okay, so you got Chris Brown.
I love Chris Brown, and people are like, why? Oh my gosh. But like he embodies what I was talking about earlier.
Is it the energy? Like
the energy,
the versatility.
The versatility. I've been to every Chris Brown concert there was.
Oh,
Since a little girl. That was
lucky.
So I remember my mom surprising me. I was at the park. It was in 5th grade, and she surprised me with the tickets, and I remember being starstruck. This was back when Lil Wayne was at the concert too. Remember the Fireman song? Oh, go DJ. That's how old it was. So I remember crying, and ever since then I went to every concert. But he embodies an artist.
Yeah.
The definition of that, because whatever you tell him to do, if you say rap right now, he's not gonna say, I'm just a singer. You know, he's gonna master it.
He'll sing,
dancing,
he can paint,
he's a
he can
performer,
dance.
he can draw.
Yeah, let's chill out. Yeah.
Clothing, you know, that's amazing. That's exactly what I want to be.
And then the second one.
I would say the second one. Let's see. This is hard. Tupac. Yeah, for sure. And he just, how to explain this? R.I.P. He was just amazing. The fact that he had a message in everything that he talked about. It was nothing that was just thrown out there. You know.
That's true.
he talked about his life, you know, what was really going on, the truth. Even if it was probably you felt like, or someone felt like it was not negative, it was negative, or whatever they felt like, it was real and authentic. And I feel like we don't have a lot of that nowadays.
That's true.
Yeah.
He said whatever came to his mind. And
Right,
didn't hold back.
Didn't hold back and told the truth and wasn't afraid to be a community person and be that person that spotlight for his community.
Yeah, sure. And then the third one.
Oh, I have to say my brother.
Oh.
Who's your brother?
His name is Braxton Millie.
Okay.
He's from Tampa, Florida, and he inspires me so much. Like, just what he does. The fact that he can go in the studio and write a song in 2 minutes, just always like, I'm like, you know how long it took me to just sit up here, you know? And he stays in the studio all day, all night. He makes his own beats. He can, like, he's one of those people too. Another definition of artistry. Whatever he touches, he just goes in and masters it. So shout out to him.
So as far as female artists,
Oh yeah.
who would you say is your female favorite female rapper?
Favorite female rapper, I would say Queen Latifah and Nicki Minaj.
Queen Latifah and Nicki Minaj. I haven't heard the name Queen Latifah in a long time.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
You see, the reason why I asked that question is because, for me, when I think about myself, music plays a huge role in my life. I love music, and I always thought that I could be a rapper.
You can.
I mean, of course I can, but should I?
Okay.
Right.
Should I be a rapper?
Good question.
You know, don't hype me up right now, because I'll drop something real fast.
Right.
So, but one of my favorite artists of all time has to be Lauryn Hill, right?
Yeah, for sure.
As a singer and a rapper, I
Right.
think she's
True
she's
that.
literally
110%.
in my top 2,
Absolutely.
somewhere in there. You said Tupac.
Yes.
Now, lately I've been watching a lot of Tupac interviews.
I could watch Tupac interviews for days.
And there's just something so strange about Tupac. He's almost like the musical Jesus in a way, because his messages were so strong,
Right.
And his belief in what he was saying was actually so powerful and profound, which made me like
he always dropped in gems.
like he's always dropping gems.
He was.
You know what I like is that he was not afraid to make mistakes, acknowledge his mistakes, or just he never cared about looking perfect.
Right.
That's what I mean. He was just his authentic self. And I think we need more of that.
Absolutely.
And embodying artistry, just like you were saying, like Tupac went to the School of the Arts.
Yes.
Right? And one of the things that he used to love to study is Shakespeare.
Right.
And he took that idea of Shakespeare and how Shakespeare write poetry and poems and things of that, or plays, and he incorporated that into his own music. So for him, he believed that he was like the ghetto, like he's the ghetto gospel, like he's the ghetto Shakespeare, he's the black Shakespeare.
Absolutely.
And for him, his life represented that. He personified every single thug in America, every single gangster in America. And it's something for a person to put on that kind of weight.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, for America to see, okay, look, I'm the face of thugs.
Right.
You know, this is how we are. This is how real dudes think, talk, and act. And you can see that effect still trickle down today. But another thing I realized about Tupac is that he's profound in a way because it's almost like he prophesied his own death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And there's always this fascination with life and death for everybody.
Yeah.
Even if we're not thinking about it, we're thinking
It's
about
crazy,
it.
yeah, because I was just watching Nipsey Hussle today. I was watching his interview.
Me too.
Today.
Yeah.
But I was watching Double Up music video for the first time. I don't know
Really?
why I'd never seen the video, but today I was watching the video and I was just like,
Right, it was today. I
Emotional.
had one of those days. I was telling you about DMX the other day. I did that for Nipsey today. I really did some homework. I was just sitting down for this interview and just watching all his interviews, and that type of stuff inspires me.
And doesn't it give you goosebumps?
It does.
To
Like,
hear those
wow.
people?
I'm like, wow,
whoa.
he was so much alive. I know it sounds dumb, but he was so much alive.
Right.
And
As a spirit.
He
That's
was,
crazy.
and I think he still is.
yeah.
Right.
And I find it to be so interesting that you wouldn't know, Nipsey Hussle wouldn't really be Nipsey Hussle if it wasn't for him dying. Or Tupac, how much would Tupac really be Tupac if he did not die? There's so many people out today who are great.
Right.
And I mean top tier great. And if they were to go today, and it could be on multiple different facets and multiple different platforms.
Right.
And if they were to go today, we'll realize that, wait a minute, this was once in a lifetime. We tend to take for granted the true artistry that we have now. You see what I'm saying? Because just like the rose, a flower, the second it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
And that's kind of like music. Once the music stops, once life stops, it's done for you.
Right.
And for those people who are really inspired to leave that kind of an impact on others, to show that, you know what, like, through my music, through my energy, through my artistry, I'm here to uplift you. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to better your life, because the same thing that inspired me and touched me, I wanted to do the same for you. I think that's very noble.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that your name is Queen. So why did you even choose
Yeah,
that?
why did you choose
It's
that?
crazy. That's another story too. I never wanted me to share.
Right.
So my dad used to always tell me and instill in me that, you know, you're a queen. He actually is crazy because when I was before I was born, he wrote this note to me. My dad's very artistic too. He was a very good drawer. He learned how to draw from like comic books and things like that. So he already wrote this little thing out for me, you know, just basically telling me, you know, explaining my worth and who I was. So that was always instilled in me at a young age. So I always felt like I was a queen. And then it got to a point to where my favorite color is purple. And then I found out I went to
It's the color of royalty.
royalty. So
And then you like the Lakers, right?
yeah. No,
What? Oh, that's not in here? That's not in the bio?
No.
Kobe Bryant?
I didn't think I was never really into sports.
But you like the Lakers now.
Yeah, I could.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
It's all purple and gold.
Sure, I'll take it.
True, true.
So I remember on Instagram, when Instagram first came out, my name was royalty at its best. And so I still used to always go by Queen. And then when I made Bet That one, after that, my brother was like, when I made Finger Lickin', sorry. When I made Finger Lickin', I was like, what should my name be? And I already knew I was going to have Queen in it, and he was like, Royal. I was like, oh, I like that. There's a ring to it. Queen Royal. And then that's where I got it.
So what are your thoughts on the idea that women in hip hop are over sexualized, and what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you ever have explicit lyrics and sexual lyrics?
I haven't had
one.
I haven't had any explicit lyrics yet. Well, as far as sexual wise. But it's crazy. It's like I do think we're over sexualized. I feel like it doesn't. My point is, don't get me wrong, as women, you know, and men, that's what we were put on this earth to do, to create, you know, and bring life into this world. So I'm not discounting that, but I feel like that doesn't have to be the only topic. That doesn't have to be what we're all about and only what we're about. And I feel like that's the case now. It's like women are we're just put on there. You need to have your boobs out, your butt out, whatever, and that's it. And rap about sex only. And I don't agree with it. Do I agree with that? No. But do I feel like some women, if that's their lane, that's what they're good at, that's what they're good at, you know? But you don't want to just put yourself only in that little box. Like in one of my lyrics, I say, always demanding like, never will I call myself a bitch, demanding my respect. Because I feel like we've accepted that title
Too loosely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I want to set that standard. Maybe that's what I'm here for.
Yes. So how do you think that do you want to be like a role model for other women, or what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think would be for example, like how would you define a woman that's a queen? You know?
Oh, a woman that's a queen, she values herself. She has standards. She has a foundation, because the person who doesn't have a foundation is easily misguided. So she's a woman that stands on her own. She's a woman that knows herself. That's a big thing too. And I feel like, you know, I wouldn't say I want to be a role model for everyone, because like I said, you have to know yourself, and what's for you is what's for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but I could tell you all day what I did, but at the end of the day, that might not be what's for you.
What's good for me.
You know?
Yeah.
But I would do my best to be, I will always be my best to be who I want to be, and be true to myself. You know? And that's what I'm saying, even with women who do sexualize, if that's true to them, that's true to them. You know, I would never discount them or discount what they're doing. But some people do it just to be on a bandwagon. You know what I mean?
Would you be like in music videos twerking and stuff?
I mean, twerking now, that's
that.
I don't think that's a bad, and that's the thing too. I don't
There's
see that as
nothing wrong
bad.
with
I'm
that
from
at
Tampa,
all.
so
Yeah.
shout out to Tampa, but everybody twerk. That's like where Miami and Tampa is kind of where twerking came from. So it's kind of like, not came from, but you know, that's weird. Like it was.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So, do I consider that sexualizing? No. So I guess everybody has their own opinion too, and that's the thing as well. I mean,
I do think that sometimes women get discredited for doing the same, expressing their sexuality
Same way.
versus when men do it. It's like normal,
well, it's cool.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we do it, we're hoes.
Right. It's true. I see that too.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know, right? Because I'm not an expert on life, but I do feel as though that there's a imbalance and an over-sexualization of both sexes, both men and women.
Right.
And
Preach.
even if you may think that men are getting away with things that women cannot,
Right.
what is the residual effects of us getting away with it?
Right.
You hear the terms like toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? It comes from an entitlement mindset. Why?
Right.
Because a lot of men have been allowed to get away with certain behaviors for so long that now it's just like when you're awake and when you know yourself, you realize that, wait a minute, I'm not an object, I'm a human being.
Right.
You start to realize, wait, that's not okay.
Exactly.
You can't look
Right.
at me like that.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can't touch me like that.
Right.
So we've created this culture where men, and not all men, but where we have allowed men to get away with, not just men, but us,
Right.
as everyone.
Right.
We've over-sexualized life.
Right.
And
Yes.
now it seems as though the main focus is our bodies.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
then when in reality, and I like talking about reality and things of that nature, when you look at the human being, what are we? Are we really our bodies or are we our minds? You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like,
Ooh,
are we
you
the
dropping
mind?
knowledge
Are we the
today.
mind moving the body, or are we just the body
Okay,
that's
Mr. Malcolm.
judging?
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, or
Absolutely.
moving the direction of. And I always had this thing when I was in high school, right? Because I used to be really good at sports.
Right.
Elementary, I was a beast. Soccer, basketball, football, all of it. It was not until I got to high school where I started to, what's that expression? Not give a, right?
Right.
But there was a reason for that, because I began to realize that, wait a minute, if I get hurt, they'll replace me like this. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I break my leg, everything that I've ever worked for can be taken away. But if I go to school for a scholarship, you can never take away what's in my head.
Right.
Right.
You can never take away what's in my mind.
Yeah.
And I feel as though that now there's going to be a shift. And I don't know if I'm manifesting it, if I'm speaking into the universe.
Right.
But I feel as though there's going to be a shift where more people are going to start to wake up to who they really are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And start to know themselves and realize that, wait a minute, this isn't a physical
And
game.
it's happening right now.
It's a
Yep.
mental game.
Yep.
A lot of people are waking up.
And a lot of people are having that wake up. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Where they realize, wait a minute, I'm not a slave to
Yep.
my body.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what over-sexualization
Exactly.
can do.
Exactly.
You become a slave to it. And because what you don't conquer conquers you. And I'm a big. It's so crazy that I'm the guy that's talking about this, because I was all the way on the other side, like for real.
Right.
Like I was lost.
Right.
Like there was a time and point where I went to school,
Right.
and I literally, and I talked to Jess about this on the first podcast. I used to value myself by how women looked at me. You see what I'm saying? So if
Right.
a woman thought I looked good, then oh man,
I look good.
I look good.
Right.
But if I wasn't getting as much calls or contact,
You were
it would be a
confident.
panic. Like, whoa, what's going on? Like,
Right.
are these girls blind again? Like, you know?
Right.
Gotta be.
Right.
Right. But it was always something. Like,
Right.
and I realized that, wait a minute, like I'm approaching this almost like an animal.
Yeah.
Like it's very animalistic, very like instinctual. And I realized, wait a minute, am I more than just my body, or am I mental? Is there more to life than just me fulfilling my desires, right? And I had to go through a purging period, and that's why I love Lauryn Hill.
Right.
Because like I don't know what's that song. It's Waters.
Oh.
No, Peace of
I was
Mind.
thinking
That
of
was
a
a
different
huge
song.
one.
Right.
But there is one where she taught. It's just like waters, and she's like literally screaming like he's purging me, and he's moving me around, right? And she's talking about God, right?
Right.
And how he's removing things out of her, how he's purging the things out of her,
Taking
like
it away.
the very nature of who she is. He's taking it away, and I'm not really like biblically sound,
Yeah.
but to paraphrase the Bible, I think Paul says, the good that I want to do, I don't do. And the good that I do want to do, I still end up doing bad. What can save me from this wretched body of sin? So basically, he's saying how, like, when he wants to do something good, he can't.
Right.
When he decides that he finally is going to do something good, it ends up not being good. What can save him?
to
And it's
the
this
body.
separation
Right.
of self. When
Yeah.
you really allow your body to die
And
and
your-
allow your mind
Yes,
to grow,
absolutely.
is where you become that true individual. And I'm talking a lot, but Queen, like you
Yes.
opened that door when you said knowing yourself. So
Yes.
what do you feel the process of knowing yourself takes, and how would you encourage a younger woman
to know themselves.
to know themselves?
To know yourself is to be to be self-aware. I think that's a big thing. Like you said, mentally. When you're able to dissect your thoughts and redirect them, I feel like you're in that process. You know what I mean? I feel like it's crazy because it's been some things I had to even relearn from childhood.
True.
That I've had to say, that's not me, that's not my truth.
Yeah.
What is mine? You know? I would say meditation helps that. It's crazy, I always aspired to be a vegan, so I'm still working on that.
Girl, same.
I eat things that are vegan.
See, me too.
Close enough, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But it's so many different things. It goes really deep. You know, Dr. Sebi and stuff like that. I've done a lot of research, so it's so many things, and some people might get confused and lost in it. But I would say, like I said, definitely meditation, coming up with a routine, being in solitude.
Oh,
that's a big thing.
True.
Because nobody wants to be alone. Everybody wants to, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You should be around people. But we don't know how to just live in solitude with ourselves, and that's sad. Because it's kind of like we panic when we're alone. We have to call somebody. We have to call everybody for advice. But sometimes your advice is already here. I feel like we just go seek out extra stuff to go get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're not believing in ourselves. Really, we don't realize that we're not believing in ourselves and trusting ourselves. And trusting which way the universe guides.
Before,
yeah, we're projecting our authority outward.
Exactly.
And it's kind of showing you how little power that you have.
Exactly.
You know? Because you're so freely giving it away.
And it happens. It happens with even family. I had to go through that. Like, you know, my mom I love her to death. Shout out to mom. But I had realized, I think it happened this year, the beginning of this year, that I was seeking validation from that. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you have to really start seeking validation from within. But when you're able, the important thing is when you're able to identify that and identify these things, that's a start. Then you just go from there, you know, start writing down your thoughts. I think, like you said, how would I tell somebody else or tell another woman or guide her? I would say, write down, you know, what's going on in your mind. Don't be afraid to put it on paper. I feel like that's the greatest thing I could have ever done.
What are your thoughts on, like, women, the black women stereotypes that are so attached to us? And what do you think we should do to break free of that?
What's there?
That we're loud and we're ratchet and we're overly, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're sexual.
I don't think it's I honestly don't think it's, like, really our place to break stereotypes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we just, like I was saying earlier, all we can do is be ourselves.
Amen.
As black women, I feel like from what I've been seeing, we've been showing black girl magic. You know what I'm saying? That's, if you're loud, that's you. I mean, you know what I mean?
And we're the most educated people in America.
Educated. Do I disagree that people should put those stereotypes on us? No, because all black women are not loud. Just like, you know, other stereotypes put on other cultures. But I feel like if we just focus our attention on trying to break stereotypes, we're gonna wind up just stressing ourselves out.
Right. It's almost like, for example, say you just got out of a relationship.
Right.
And instead of trying to heal, you're over here trying to, like, make the other person jealous. Like, you're focused on the wrong thing.
You're putting your energy towards the wrong thing.
Yeah, you can't really heal.
Right.
Like you said, it starts from within.
Energy. You are, like you said, you are a energy. You are a spiritual entity. And when you realize that, like you were saying, you realize that your physical form is really not, like,
it's a tool.
Like
it's a tool. You use it as you want to, but you don't. Like,
it's just a piece of you.
Yeah, it's not the
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's that mastery of self. And I like the steps that you described because it's so interesting that almost every individual who wants to find out who they are, not saying that I fully know who I am because it's evolving.
Right.
No, as I get older, I realize, like, I always go through this. Like, right now I can be thinking, like, wow, my thoughts are the most, like, these are the clearest thoughts I've ever had.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 weeks from now, I'll be like, dang, I was dumb.
Right.
What was I thinking? Like, yo, I was so young, you know?
Right. Like,
that happens.
That's the old me.
But the process of knowing yourself, it always involves some type of separation.
Yeah.
You know, from the crowd. And I wonder, why is it that we need isolation? Because sociologists would tell us that we're social creatures and we need one another, which we do.
We do.
You know, we really do.
Yeah.
But there is a point in time where you're going to be left alone.
Yeah.
You know, like, who are you in that moment?
Yeah.
What are you in that moment?
Right. That's the only time you really get to know. I mean,
yeah.
If you're by yourself, you're hearing your thoughts, you're hearing what's going on, pay attention to how you're moving, What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you just lay back down just to go back to bed?
Yep.
You know what's going on. These are the times that you can really understand who you are. And I would say another thing that really helped me was numerology. That's something really deep too. And it's something that just came out of nowhere to me too. And it happened with music. I didn't start seeing, like, I don't know if you know numerology or heard about it.
Like the 36 hertz or something like that.
Like,
No,
it's
like 333 is
yeah, you start seeing these numbers like, yeah,
something.
333, 222, 444, 555. And like when I know I'm in alignment. And it's crazy because I watched this guy on YouTube named Ralph Smart. I think I always seek knowledge.
Is he the one that's dark skinned?
Yeah, and he says, breathing in that good
I watch him too sometimes.
Yes, I love him.
He'd be like, Canada, hello.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I watched him. Like my dad, like I said, my dad is like a very spiritual guy to me.
Yeah.
Right. So I was raised in a Christian background.
Same.
And then something happened in church where like my mom and dad basically got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I still would go with my grandma, you know, I still like, you know, go. And it wasn't until I graduated high school that I just didn't go anymore. But then what my dad was doing, he was decoding the Bible. He's one of those people, he read the Bible like he was reading everything, he was reading books, all types of books, just from everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just so knowledgeable, like it's crazy. Like I'd be like, to the point where he's one of those people that you look at crazy when they talk first, and then after a while you be like, damn, you was right. And you look it up and you be like, oh, okay, you know. So that just showed me a lot. So when I started seeing numbers, I told my dad about it, and then he started like explaining it to me, like it means things. And then I watched the Left Eye documentary over, and it's crazy because she was talking about it. So it just gets really deep. Like sometimes I'm scared myself. I'm like, what am I getting into? Like, what is going on? But I realized that nothing in this world is happening by coincidence.
I believe that too.
It's happened for a reason. So when you see these numbers and when you are aware of them, then
like the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, you just start seeing
I don't
anything.
know what the heck you just said.
I was like the swirl.
Like, yeah, like geometry, sacred geometry.
Okay.
That's a big deal too. It gets really deep.
That's
So
interesting too. Yeah.
with music, I started seeing these numbers, and I think Ralph Smart was the one that was like, when you see these numbers, start writing down like what you're thinking in your mind at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I started realizing and started decoding like my own little message to myself through numbers. Like, okay, I know if I see maybe 333, it's telling me don't be fearful. Like, you got it. It's okay. Whatever it is, I'm usually at
Do you know what 222 means? Because that's my birthday.
I have it on my phone.
I'll look it up later.
Yeah, I have it in there. But yeah, all these numbers really mean something. And sometimes I use I have like a little utensil. What you call those key that you can go back to? I'll send it to you. Mm-hmm. That way you can like when you forget what it means, you can like look at it and really dig into what the number means. But it gets so deep, and then it starts. But to some people, like I said, it might be different to you. It might be for you, you know, be confident, or it might be say keep going, or whatever the case may be. But that is like leading me through music, and when I see it, I know like I'm doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. You know, before I came here, I saw 555, so like I'm like, okay, I know.
I'm in the right place. Foot long.
Yeah.
You had a foot long.
Right.
Hey man, shout out to Subway.
Right. So yeah, it goes really deep. Like it's so many great things to learn about the world and what's going on, and it's amazing. But when you do realize it, and when you do stay by yourself, not stay by yourself, but when you do sit in solitude, you start to find these things because you won't really find these things. You might
amongst people.
Maybe around the right, like not even say the right people, but like people who are on that level. You might, but
I think for me personally, I didn't start to meet the people that I needed to meet that would like push me further until I learned how to be alone. So like once I learned how to be alone, it's like God just sent me all these people that I needed to be in my life. It's like the law of attraction. Do you know the law of attraction? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even that. I really got better than that, but that right there is really just proving this stuff to me on a whole nother level. Like, and even just how everything comes into your life. You've been doing it all your life. You don't realize it, but you've been doing it forever. You might just think of somebody and they just call you. Like, synchronicity. That happens all the time.
Yeah, there's so many things, like, you know, that we don't really take deep thought into.
I'm saying though, man, I feel legit, and I never quit. Dude, I say what I mean, ain't nothing like a hypocrite. I hold a different standard, these niggas won't understand. I had to win the crowd, these niggas can never ever command them. Niggas always tricking, my fingers